Deontay Wilder. The subject is, did he take too much punishment in not throwing out the towel in the third fight? We're going to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Listen, I don't know how you guys found this video, but somehow, some way, you made it. Help others find and locate this content with the free and simple gesture by throwing the likes up. It goes a long way when you guys do that. Appreciate everybody. Now let's get rocking. Now, this is gonna be a sensitive subject, and I'm not even sure, as of me recording this video, that I even have a true opinion. I would have to probably spend more time, but I want to use my platform to open the conversation. So let me start from the beginning. Wilder versus Fury 3, incredible. Perhaps the best fight in the series, competitively, with crazy action, right? Because I thought in the first fight, I thought Tyson Fury was very slow paced to try to work into a rhythm, and then he started turning on a little bit in the mid rounds, and then he got dropped and he got knocked out in the 12th, blah blah blah. So this was the craziest out of all three fights, in my opinion. And with that being said, what happened in the second fight, Wilder was stopped, and Wilder ended up firing Mark Breland, his trainer, former Olympian and former fighter, because he felt that he was able to continue. And he says, I'm a puncher. You don't never take that last shot from me, you know what I mean? And don't take that opportunity away from me, because I could turn any fight around. Which he came close to doing that in this third fight, and he showed you that. But in the end, Wilder started looking very withered and very fatigued, and it was early. So perhaps Fury's style, the punches Fury was landing and hurting Wilder. Fury drew first blood in this fight. Wilder was hurt before Tyson Fury got visibly hurt, in the fourth round. Wilder was, I think, dropped in the third round, which made it that back and forth incredible fight. But in the end, Tyson Fury was too much and too comfortable in that style, like the big man style with the added weight. Wilder bulking up in his last two fights didn't seem to have a positive effect, and that's not an excuse. It's just, in hindsight, you have the fight, you see what you've seen, and even though Wilder bulked up, maybe that's more unnatural. And to Fury's credit, you got to give Fury credit for that. Tyson Fury predicted some of these things, right? And there's other things I can go into deeper to determine, like, kind of what we've seen. Like, Fury did predict also that holding the hot coal, trying to throw it at an opponent would be dangerous. And I've seen other people, I think Bernard Hopkins and other people told Wilder not to fight. Don't fight off of anger, because it won't work. And another reason why that's detrimental is because you're almost playing into Tyson Fury's game, right? Because he's the naturally bigger guy, and he's the guy with the very fluid boxing style. He's gonna move his head a bit more. Wilder, that's one thing that surprised me, and I don't know if it was the nerves or the jitters or the added bulk, but I was surprised with the lack of, like, really mobility. We've never seen Wilder kind of look like that, like where he had no type of athletic movement. So I don't know if it was the second fight and the punches that were landed there, or if it was the added weight, or if it's a combination of different things. I really don't know. But the context of this video, and I wanted to make this video so we can open up the conversation, because at the end of the day, this channel is about boxing, and this is a good conversation to have. So what better way than to use my voice, you know what I mean, and open that conversation in that context to contextualize what I've seen, right? Is that Sugar Hill with the white hat? So I like to be the icebreaker and discuss this. So my question to the fans, and I want you to leave a comment, is when is it okay to listen to the fighter's wishes versus allowing it to continue? Again, I don't really have so much of a thought, because at the end of the day, Wilder said, don't throw in no towel on me. And I want to go out on my shield. And as you see from this picture, that's what happened. He definitely gave it his all. And David Haye had a great comment. David Haye said he stayed on the battlefield until he ran out of bullets, you know? So it's like almost like a classic war movie where, like, if you ever seen the movie with Brad Pitt, Fury, this is a spoiler alert in case you haven't. So Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, and the guy from The Punisher, they're in the tank and they were getting busy and battling all the Germans and all the Nazis, but there was far too many of them. And at the end of again, this is a spoiler, at the beginning of the movie, none of them survived because all they had was a tank, and the tank broke down and they were inside the tank. I mean, you're just surrounded. And ultimately that's what happened. So my question is, did Wilder take too much punishment? Because we know Fury's a big guy, and Wilder getting hit by a bigger person, and he was clearly fatigued. Will this do something psychologically to Wilder? You know, that's the question that I want you guys to answer in the comment section. And I can't wait to see some of the comments because I've seen multiple things. Fury himself said, I knew I crunched him with the right and I knew it was over. And he said shots like that end careers. I did see Dillian Whyte. Now, granted, these dudes are still both from the UK, but Dillian Whyte said Wilder took too much punishment, you know, and his career may forever be changed, things like that, right? So I want to know from the fans in the comment section, what do you believe? Should you listen to the corner and allow them to throw in the towel in a fight like that where it's like a big man? Or when someone has incredible power or incredible will, do you let them try to fight their way out, and whatever the outcome is, the outcome is? Either way, I feel like this is not an excuse. Wilder, he made his choice. He made his choice to stay in there and go out the samurai way, as I keep saying. You know, he chose to be the warrior. He thought he could best the man. He readied his mind, his body, his spirit as great as he could. It was a lengthy layoff for both, so that was even for both of them. And it just shows that Tyson Fury prevailed with the big man style. He's a true big man. He's a bit slicker. And the thing is, Tyson Fury, he had a lot of, his reaction time was good, right? Like if Wilder was out of position and like lethargic, Tyson Fury will get him out of position and hit him, and then Wilder got dropped, I think, in that sequence that I'm playing back and thinking in my mind. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think? What is the right? Because we got to establish some ground rules. Should we allow the fighter to like be that noble and say, hey, I'm willing to go out on my shield, I'm willing to die for this sport? Or would it have been right to just say, hey, you know, Wilder just gonna have to be mad at me and throw in the towel in this fight? I know the second fight had its own thing, but in the third fight, this is what we're referring to. So I'm not really worried about the second fight. I'm referring to the most recent fight. So what is the standard that you believe is the right thing to do in this given situation? Do you let a fighter go in on their shield and risk potentially not being the same fighter? Because let's be honest, there is a chance that Wilder psychologically, because I think wounds will heal. Psychologically, this is a hurtful loss just because of how important it was for Wilder to win and to lose with the devastating knockout. You know, said the guy didn't have enough power and stuff. That's a hard one to swallow. So this is going to be a real test for Wilder. I don't think physically, because I think physically he's strong, and mentally he's proven to be very strong. And it's going to be more of a psychological testament. He's going to have to channel his inner Manny Pacquiao. I want to sub to my promoter. What I mean by it is Pacquiao is one of the easy fighters that come to mind when it comes to resilience and resiliency after brutal knockouts. Pacquiao got knocked out crazy earlier in his career, like Rustico, Torrecampo, Juan Manuel Marquez later knocked him out. And then after the Marquez knockout and tough fights with Marquez, he fights Floyd Mayweather and he beats Keith Thurman and he just fought Ugas. You know what I'm saying? So is really going to fall on Wilder mentally, because we've seen guys like Roy Jones Jr. after Tarver knocked him out in the rematch, he was almost not the same ever, right? Because he lost his next fight to Glenn Johnson, right? So this is going to be important and pertinent times for Wilder at this moment. I think Wilder, the best thing he could do is just be proud of himself and, you know, just look at the good, the bad, and move on from it. But he definitely needs a significant rest between all the stuff weighing the arbitration and then the classicness of the fight. It's just a lot. That's a lot. So I would say, you know, spend time with your family and, you know, maybe take a vacation, enjoy the holidays. We're about to enter the fall, winter holiday season. And I want to know from you guys, other than that, I want to know, what is the standard? Should Wilder be able to make the call, or do you have to just trust your team to save the fighter when they're just too brave for their own good, so to speak? So what is the standard? Should the fight have been stopped by the corner and then just have Wilder mad again? Or do you risk him ending how he ended and going out in his shield, and then that's the everlasting moments? Because that's the conversation I've seen a lot of people talking about, including Dillian, Whyte, and others. So I just wanted to bring it up on my channel. Throw a like on the video, goes a long way. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.